one day was talking to me, and he said, look, you talk about, people talk about, deficit in governance in Bangladesh. But how come you have 6% growth rate in the economy? How come your export is growing? How come your infant mortality is declining? How come your maternal mortality is declining? How come you are empowering more and more women? How come you are making development on all social fronts? And as Mr. Akram pointed out, in matters of social indicators, in many indicators, we are ahead of some of our neighbors also. And he said, I can't go back to my country and say that Bangladesh is not governed well when his country and many Western countries are in deep recession now. Unemployment, recession, bankruptcy, these are the storylines. And in the same time, in the same contemporary time, in a much more fragile environment, our Prime Minister has steered the country with a 6+% of growth rate. So governance is not a process. Governance is also seen in outcome a nation, a government achieves. And I think you attend many seminars, you attend many talk shows. One must have clarity of mind, not to be driven by processes or, a storyline here, a storyline there. Okay, this is the bit so you can assure your participants that we are the same countries being run very well, inshallah. They are welcome here. And those of you who have come from abroad, this is the beginning of winter. It's a pleasant time. Little pollution, you can't help it. You can't have it, eat the cake and have it too. But we are a country also which is very welcoming. So you can tell them and we can go and reassure them. Now, on this occasion, I really congratulate you, Ms. Islam, and your organization for bringing together. On a very broad terms, our whole strategy towards energy and power, they're anchored on 4 strategies. One, we want to introduce fuel mix on our power generation in terms of traditional fuel. We have been too dependent on gas. Now we're introducing coal, we're introducing liquid fuel. These are traditional fuel I'm talking about. And to be able to generate, transmit and distribute and reach them to the households. So those of you who are here in the traditional areas, you know the challenges in generation, in transmission and in distribution, and the new technologies or embedded technology and equipment that are coming, which should be of great help to us. The second pillar that we component, I would say strategy, is also renewable energy. And you have talked about, Munar also talked about solar, and I must congratulate those who are working in the solar energy area for having made this storyline successful, and we hope someday in the near future to have 6 million households to have solar home system. Even at current 3 million households, I just have a number to compare. This is, if you have 4 persons per household, then we have 12 million people being benefiting from solar households. That's more than the population of Denmark and Norway put together. So, but then, on renewable energy, solar, one of the challenges that we are facing, and I had a chat before this, the meeting started with Munar, this is about how to make solar irrigation affordable. In that case, we can replace diesel in a very significant way. We have ourselves experimented along with Rahima Froz on having the solar panels on the field rather than having a separate place, interspersed at a certain interval, at certain gradient on the field, paddy field. And this was experimented in Bogura Academy, and it was found that the productivity is unaffected because of the shadow that the panel casts on the land does not affect the productivity of paddy. And this was in fact not my idea, nor Munar's idea, nor the idea of Rural Academy of Bogura. It was the idea of a professor in a small town who had sent me an email saying, I wish I'm getting old and I start forgetting names. He had sent me an email. He got hold of my email and said that he was trying with what he called Dotala Krishi. He was trying to have, matcha on top of his fields and try to raise some vegetables and other things. And that kind of encouraged us to go and try it for solar panel. So I hope we can fast forward this. I really, Monar said 20 or so, or 200 or so. And EatCall, our own organization, is also working. So I said, look, I don't believe in 200 or 2,000. Unless we can do 20,000, 200,000, it doesn't work for us. So we are trying to see. I have toyed with an idea, but there are not many takers yet. To have, whether we could invite IPPs giving a franchise in a particular area for irrigation based on surface water. And I thought, let's say, maybe Munshiganj area, they use a lot of surface water for potato. So because you can't use a solar panel for deep tube wells. Surface water is the cheapest. So if you could give a large area franchise to the different IPPs and buy solar electricity for them, you can think of designing such things, then we can move forward, We can't wait that long, 200, 2,000 are not numbers, that really excites me. So this is another. The third pillar is the regional connectivity. And that has been touched. We are trying to, put it on a fast-forward mode. Our Prime Minister, Sheikh Hasina, took the initiative to have connectivity, and now we are importing about 500 megawatt from India. We are to ramp it up to 1,000 megawatt in next 2-3 years. And from Palatona, from northeastern in Bangladesh, we will hopefully, inshallah, will import another 100 megawatt. We are having discussion with India, Nepal, Bhutan to harness the hydropower, but that's a long haul. The SAARC Energy Ministers Conference just approved a SAARC framework for energy cooperation. We are even having our eye on TAPI, which is Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, no, not Iran. Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, TAPI. And we are trying, we have already put our names there also. So the world need to come forward. The more we expand the area of cooperation, the more efficient we become in using our resources. So I think, but Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina had been one of the great proponent, champion of connectivity. That's why we are also moving eastward. The Bangladesh, India, Bangladesh, Myanmar, China corridor that we are talking about is getting fast, concretized in terms of projects. And the last pillar is our energy conservation and energy efficiency. We want to conserve energy, we want to be efficient in our energy use so that we don't waste energy. We can do with much less than we normally use. And this is not with respect to energy only. We want to have a culture where we will be very frugal in terms of using resources. Because at the end of the day, most of the resources in the world is limited. So we as a nation would like to set example that we do not waste. Whether we have it or doesn't matter. Our nature should be that we should not be wasteful. If we have little more, let's share with others rather than try to consume. So the extreme consumerism that is a byproduct of market, that has to be restrained by our cultural and social capital so that we start helping each other, we share each other. And we live in a more contented society rather than a society which is very self-centered. So energy conservation, energy efficiency is part of our larger goal of shaping society together with you. We are hoping to have electricity for all by 2021, become middle-income country by 2021, under the leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, who has steered this country through many challenges. We are more her foot soldiers, steered the country through many challenges and brought us here. If we all work together, private sector, public sector together, we can move the country forward. And initiative of Mr. Islam is one such cooperation between private sector and public sector. It is very important that we share. I don't know whether you will be having sessions in terms of technology and all, but it is very important. You all know we had this grid failure recently, and I was reading two reports. One of a major grid failure in 2003, which started from Iowa in United States and moved to northeastern states of United States, USA and Canada. So, and there is another report of 2012, a grid failure which started from Uttar Pradesh in India and then later on expanded to eastern part of India. So we need to harness technology and make sure that we comply with technology. Those who come with technology I'm sure, I don't have to advise you, but it's not selling and going away. It's selling a technology, nurturing that technology, having a partnership that, as you upgrade technology, the partner on the other side, that company or institution is also, hand in gloves, it's very important. And so technology, standardizations are very important. This is the last point, but very important point I want to make, that in terms of use of solar panels, there are different opinions in the society. Some people think that some of the solar panels are not useful enough, they are copycats, they are not reliable. This is also true of many of the lights, energy efficient lights and other things we use. So we are trying to strengthen our standardization entities. But we would also request the provider of this technology to find ways of standardizing the products so that, this is the old story of, the asymmetry of information between a buyer and a seller. So we want that asymmetry to be done with, and more buyer and seller could meet each other on a information that is more or less equal. We will keep trying to standardize products and technologies. We'd also request the private sector, and since solar energy home system getting very popular, and we also would like to use the rooftops to promote solar energy. So we need some standardization. Maybe an organization in the private sector could come out and voluntarily help us in standardizing the products. At least give some leveling, star leveling, so that someone who's buying could be confident that he's not buying something very shoddy. Let me finish my statement by congratulating again the organizers and the sponsors who have come forward, and our president of the Federation and president of the American Chambers, they have come forward to support this event and let it flourish more, and let us all benefit from this kind of exhibition or platform, as you have said. Thank you very much for listening to me. Joy Bangla, Joy Bangladesh.
Thank you very, very much. Honorable Mr. Tawfiq Ilahi Chaudhry, Honorable Advisor to the Prime Minister of the Government of Bangladesh on Power, Energy and Mineral Resources. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for giving mementos. I would request Ms. Mehrun N. Islam, Group Managing Director, CEMS Global USA and Asia Pacific, to kindly deliver the mementos. First, to the
ছেলেমেয়েরা জানে পড়া আসে
হ্যাঁ অনেক
ওদের দরকার
দ্যাটটা নেক্সট জেনারেশন
তাই
We have done 35 megawatt peak in total, including all these solutions. From 300 plus water pumps to rooftops.
কত পিক বলা কিছু নেই দরকার নেই